some slightly different grips, and I like to use the fist. So we talked about when we were doing the gi, Ezekiel, when we were here, again, that detail of bringing their head back and basically trapping Mark's head. I mean, you're going to lose most chokes when you go to put them on from height, and then you start to get hand to hand. He's already turning into me, and his chin's tucked, and I'm just not, I'm not on there, his throat, so it's not an air choke, but I don't have the connection, and it just becomes a bit of a half blood choke. And then when he's using his hands to defend, you just don't have the connection, and then you get people still trying to put it on. So we want to be putting it on from this hybrid knee on belly, low defensive position. You don't even realize at this stage that is the setup for both chokes. From here, when I start to bring that knee across and he's bringing this arm in, again we talked about how I'm covering this. Okay, so now when we did the gi version, I physically grabbed my sleeve with 4 fingers, and then I made that like kind of palm heel and karate movement. That allowed me, heads low, that allowed me to bring my hand in, and then I kept that straight. I just kept that, and I wasn't making a grip here. And then from that position, I wasn't making a fist in the gi, because there's a massive amount of material here, and you have friction as well, and I just found that you have more connection when you kept your hand open. Alright, and then you can start to put your pressure on. Obviously in no gi we don't have that grip. We want to grab the bicep, but again it'll depend on the size of your opponent. Mark's very big in the shoulders, so unless I get an arm transplant, I'm not grabbing my bicep, but I am when I finish the choke. So what I do is I need to attach my support hand to the choking arm. So once we're here and I make that grip and I make him look straight up and I cover his arm, when my arm comes in, I'm physically grabbing my forearm, which is closest to my elbow. So somewhere around here is fine. That'll just kind of lock everything in. Okay. Then I'll make that kind of palm heel position again. Notice the way my head, this is the detail on Ezekiel, I've made a wedge with my head, so Mark can't look till his left, and he can't look till his right because my shoulder's here, so I've got his head just in a complete wedge from that position. So once I'm there and I grab my forearm, my hand comes in that palm heel movement, but the minute I get it over his throat, I'm going to make a fist. Okay, so my fist is going right here. Because in no gi there's so much space, if that makes sense. And then my chest is going on top of the fist, and I'm just going to crush his throat with my body. So once we get into that position and my arm comes across, I find the forearm, open hand to come in, and then I put my fist on his throat. Once I'm there, notice the way my head's pushing down. I'm going to bring my chest over the top of my fist, and now it's just about pressure. I'm pushing in. If I feel that I'm still not getting this, okay, I will lift my knee off and my other knee comes up, and now all my weight's going into his neck. So I'll take this knee off him and this knee comes off the mat, which means all my weight is going in here. I don't think you need to go that far, but sometimes if you just don't have the complete connection, okay, you need to make slight adjustments. Let's take a look at that again, just from this side. So, from our side control position, in no gi, take the time, get 3 fingers underneath his armpit. Start to pull his head towards you. Notice the way his lower body's staying where it is, and start putting cross-face pressure on him. From there, we start to slide the shin across, and we will maneuver our knee until he starts pushing on the knee. Okay, now I've covered this. Okay, head drops down. Mark looks to his left or his right. His head is wide open. So now I'm just going to bring this forward. I'm going to find my forearm. Move your head, Mark.
I don't lift my head until I'm about to slide that hand in. I lift it slightly, and as I lift it slightly, my hand moves from my forearm to my bicep, and I've actually made that connection here. Okay. Now from this position, it's all about putting all my weight, my chest is going onto this, my fist, my head's still connected to his, and now from there I'm just putting all my weight onto Mark. This way, bro. We did the variation where sometimes when you go to the hybrid knee on belly, sometimes people don't push in the knee and they're still framing at your throat. So we talked about last time, we can still use that concept of our chin. I can bring this over. I can trap Mark's left forearm to his body with my chin. Now again, I need to turn my head. I don't want to be trapping it just with my throat because I'm choking myself, so I will turn my head. My chin just pushes his forearm down there, and that allows me now to slide my head forward. Notice the way now my armpit comes over. It's a big thing in the Ezekiel. Right? I can't Ezekiel someone if Mark's got the inside space. He's got his left arm basically inside my choke. So a lot of the time when I'm here, okay, if I don't pin this and I try to bring this over to get the Ezekiel, he can just defend that space around his neck with that hand. So I just turn my head and I pin that with my chin. Now I beat the elbow with my armpit, and now from there I'm making that grip, lifting my head slightly to get my choke in, and then I find my bicep. Move your chest over the fist, and now think about really putting all your weight
on your arms, which is in turn putting all the weight on his neck, pushing down with the chest. Let's do that, guys.